Hello and welcome to Rule of Three's video review for Pikmin 3, a strategic third-person game from Nintendo. With me today are two people who aren't usually with me. One is Lizzie Manan. How you doing?
Doing well.
Great. And Birdman. How you doing today?
Pretty good.
Awesome. All right, so this is the third game in the Pikmin franchise. So as this is a franchise, obviously I like going into kind of our backgrounds with them. I love Pikmin. I think it's one of the best Nintendo franchises out there. I like one, two was okay, but I still like them for just the strategic and real-time strategy stuff that you have to do in order to complete your goals. Lizzie.
I never really played the second one. The first one was awesome. The second one was just kind of easy in comparison, and I like the third one because it's a little bit harder. It's harder than the second one, but still not as hard as the first one.
We'll get to the third one in a minute, and then Birdman.
Yeah, I definitely liked the third one better than the second one because I was kind of bummed in the second one how they took out the whole time limit challenge and you got an unlimited amount of days where kind of in the first one you had like 30 days or something to find all your parts or you were done. So it brought a certain difficulty to the game, whereas in this one you have a limited amount of days as long as you find yourself food.
Right.
So I like that challenging aspect of it.
Right, and we'll get to that when we get to talk gameplay. A little bit what we're talking about now,
Mm-hmm.
because that is one of the big difference from if you played the second one. That's one of the big differences. They did bring back kind of a time limit kind of deal with it.
Yeah.
But anyway, the story actually does not follow Captain Olimar for once. It actually follows three new characters, Alf, Britt, and Captain Charlie, who are from another planet called Kopai, who are having food issues and are running out of supplies on their planet and are on the brink of destruction. So they are sent out to go explore in order to find food and a way to, help them survive. And you crash land on a planet and you lose all your parts, and your ship loses what's called the cosmic drive, so they can't get home. So you have to collect fruit to survive, as well as try to find the cosmic drive. This is where Olimar and Louie do come into play. They do make cameos in this game, mostly because you're trying to hunt them down. You find little logs and things from them that kind of explain what they're doing there. And like usual, they're hunting for treasure. But I like the storyline. I thought it was nice to kind of have new characters brought in that weren't Olimar, and kind of seeing that while they are very similar to how Olimar species are, in fact they're pretty much identical. That there are other inhabitable planets out there that sport life that need to come to whatever planets this is, like of Pseudo Earth, to get food and stuff. And I liked it. I thought it was kind of cute. Birdman.
Yeah, I liked it. I loved how, like you were saying, how they had the different species, how like the Hokotates and the Kopais, they're kind of like sister planets to each other. They're not super close, but they've both heard of each other. And I want to say that one planet is obsessed with like treasure hunting, and the other planet is obsessed with food hunting. So it was kind of cool how they did that.
Yeah. Lizzie.
Yeah, I liked the relationship between the two planets and how like Birdman had brought up how there was like subtle differences between the two. The Hoplites are not only treasure hunters, but they eat vegetables. That's their primary source of food. And um, the Kopais, they are obsessed with fruits, and they think the vegetables are disgusting. So they kind of are opposite in that sense. Um, but yeah, I like how they brought in this other planet and new people, and it was refreshing to have another outlook on the game.
All right. So let's get into the gameplay. So if you've ever played a Pikmin game, the basic gameplay is the same. You control a character, you grow Pikmin, you gather Pikmin, and you go out, explore, and try to find. In this game, it's fruit in order to progress through the game. So in order to collect fruit, you just, like all the other games, you go around the map and you find it, you throw Pikmin at it until there's enough of them to pick it up, and they take it back to your ship. Now, what this does is every time you collect fruit, each fruit has a certain value to it on how much food it provides. If you get enough juice, it will fill up a little container that will give you 1 day's food rationing. If you run out of this food rationing, you're done. It's game over. However, if you collect fruit, you can keep going and going and going until you're out. And that's where this time limit comes in. It It gets rid of the 30 days from 1, which, like most people said, that was really difficult to do unless you knew where everything was to do in 30 days. But it wasn't quite as easy as 2, where you just had whatever time limit you had to do in order to beat the game. There was no time limit, just keep going until you win. So this one kind of I think it's found a very sweet balance between the two. And I really enjoyed the whole, collect food to survive on this planet kind of deal. I really enjoyed that. Lizzie.
Yeah, I liked it. I mean, 30 days was definitely too restrictive. And then no time at all was too easy. This one, they kind of restrict how much food you can get as you progress because you'll either need different kind of Pikmin that you don't have, or whatever. And then it still had like a day cap, because there's not an infinite amount of fruit. There's 66 fruits, which overall I believe gives you about 100 days worth of food. So if you can't beat the game in 100 days, you're done.
Birdman.
Yeah, I mean, it was nice seeing the whole fruit system with the whole rationing and everything. And some fruits you collect, they split into 2, so you get double the rationing from them, or some only give you like a quarter of a container, like the little cherries and stuff you find. So it was definitely a very sweet balance between the 2 games, like you said. I liked it.
All right. The other thing that they added in this, which is they had this in 2 a little bit, but this one's expounded. Instead of having just Louie and Olimar, where if you're playing 2-player in Pikmin 2, I remember this, you had both of them, and 1 player would control each. This one, you get 3 characters, which you can each have a different squad kind of going. You still have that cap of 100 Pikmin from the previous ones, but you can split them up into like 3 different groups to go. Like this group go over here to collect fruit. This group over here to go collect, items to give you the super Pikmin ability or whatever it's called. This group, go destroy this wall, and really multitask and kind of maximize your efficiency. And I really liked how that worked. It also allowed for a little bit more puzzle solving with having to have, throw one of your other squad mates up into a ledge and throw him his Pikmin, and then he goes off. And I really liked the multi-characters in this one. I thought that was also kind of worked really well with this game. Lizzie.
Yeah, it allowed for them to expand on the puzzles. The previous games, because you only had 2 characters, or you were just Olimar in the case of the first one, there wasn't a whole lot of like puzzles. This one, I mean, you have places where you have to throw 2 of your teammates over, and like 50 Pikmin, and then you have to split them up in a specific way in order so that one has enough Pikmin to get like 1 item to finish the bridge, and then you have the other team who has to like get the pieces from the other half of the bridge. And yeah, it was kind of fun. I liked it.
Yeah. All right, so now we're getting into Pikmin. So like in all the previous ones, there are multiple types of Pikmin. You have red, which are a little stronger and are immune to fire. You have yellow, which you can throw really, really high and far. And in this one, they're immune to electricity. And you have blue, which are able to go into water, which becomes very useful later. And this one, they added 2 new types to the story mode, and that is rock Pikmin, which when you throw them, they do a lot of damage and they can break glass, and flying Pikmin, which fly and can get to really hard to access areas. I do like the addition of the 2 new Pikmins. I was kind of bummed that purple and white weren't in the campaign. They do make a appearance in bingo mode, but I kind of like purple and white. But I understand why they didn't add them. I mean, that would be what, 6 types of Pikmin you have to micromanage? 6 or 7? But I do like the new Pikmin types.
Yeah, the rock ones were super useful. There's a lot of things that I kind of wish that they were more like purples. Like I wish that they counted as more than one Pikmin when picking stuff up, but they don't. It's still nice to get the extra damage. If there's an enemy that's giving you troubles, if you just have an army of rock Pikmin, they'll drop the opponent really quickly. The pink ones, the flying ones, they purposely put fruit in places that you have to fly the fruit back to your ship. The other nice thing with the flying ones is while they can't go in water, they fly over the water. So if you have to travel through like a deep pond, you can bring your pinks with you. You're not stuck to just blues.
Yeah. Birdman, what did you think of the Pikmin types?
I loved I would say probably my favorite was the pink ones, and I loved how in some of the fights in the game they also added the aerial combat. Like In the other games, you had some of the enemies, like the little hippoglyph that they had that like it would blow your Pikmin away, but it was a flying type, so you always had to throw your Pikmin at it from underneath. Well, with your pink Pikmin, they do a lot more damage to them because they're a flying type enemy, and it's what the pink Pikmin were designed for. So I mean, I really like that aspect how they added different type of enemies. Like with the rock ones, some of the enemies are covered in ice, so you have to use those Pikmin before you can break through their body to actually attack them and take their health down. So that aspect I liked with the combat.
Yeah, and like I said, with all these different Pikmin types, like I said, they've really refined these roles. Like, also the other thing they added is if you play the previous ones, only yellow ones could pick up bombs, but now you can have any Pikmin pick up bombs. And I had fun with pink ones with bombs. That was by far my favorite thing to do. Those are awesome. But it really added that whole you couldn't just carry one or two types of Pikmin. You really had to have a full squad of like different ones, or have one character with a certain type of squad go to do one chore, and it really allowed for the strategy aspect of this game to really shine. I feel a lot more than in the previous ones, especially when, like I said, when you're exploring the map. I mean, like I said, there's not just dirt walls that you break down. There's like electric fences that you have to have. Yellow Pikmin are the only ones that can take those ones down. You have glass ones, which you need rock. You have to build bridges a lot more often in this one, but it won't give you all the equipment to build a bridge in one spot. You kind of have to look for the different spots for the bridge pieces. And the exploration, once again, it really was amazing in this game, especially if you're using the Wii U pad to play, because you have like the overview map. I felt that it was a nice little use of the Wii U pad.
Yeah, and if you move the map on the pad, it pauses the game. So
Yes.
you can go around and you can explore and you can set up your because you can dictate where your different people move from the pad. You can assign them to go places so that you don't have to be in direct control of the character all the time when you want them to move. Um, and with the whole picking up bombs things, instead of yellows being the only ones to pick up the bombs, like you said, any Pikmin can, but they replaced that with yellows are the only ones who can dig.
Yes.
So they'll have fruits that are like buried in the sand, and you have to have a group of yellow Pikmin to dig them out. And also to go along with the fact that you have to have an actual squad of different color Pikmins. In the first game, you could pretty much get around anywhere with an army of 100 red Pikmin, and you would be fine for most of the game. In this one, if you don't have like 20 of each, in some places, you're gonna struggle.
Birdman.
Yeah, the one thing that they kind of changed from this game that they had in the second one was how they replaced the white and the purple Pikmin in this game in the main story with the pink and the rock. The white Pikmin in the second game were actually the ones that could dig, and so they kind of reassigned their role in this new game to give it to the yellow Pikmin, which I thought was cool and stuff because the yellow ones couldn't dig in the other ones, which was nice. I was a little disappointed that they weren't in the main story like you were saying earlier.
Yeah. All right, and that brings us to the last thing I want to talk about, which is bingo mode. Bingo mode is the multiplayer versus in this game. Everybody gets like this little 4x4 square, and it's your job to get bingo before anybody else by collecting the fruit and beating people up. Unfortunately, I didn't get a lot of time with bingo because it's just me and my wife, and we didn't have a whole lot of time to mess with bingo because I have such a backlog of games I'm working on right now. But from what I played with bingo, it was fairly fun. I did enjoy it, and I felt bad every time I lost because I would lose all the time. Elizabeth's really good at this game. Makes me sad. I'm terrible.
I'm terrible at it. I only did one match against Birdman, but he won. I like that there's only a specific amount of fruit on the map,
Yeah.
and like the enemies, there's plenty of those. So everyone can claim an enemy if they want to, but like if there's a golden strawberry and you notice that your opponent that they need that for the line they're trying to go for, you can jack that strawberry and it crosses it out on their bingo sheet so they can't finish that line.
Yep. Birdman.
Another one of the cool things with the bingo was like what Lizzie Manan was saying, that you can go jack someone's fruit and it crosses them off their thing, but they have little items around the board that are cherries, and it gives you kind of like an item roulette. And so let's say if you were missing one item and you were completely blocked off on the map, one of the random items you can get from the roulette actually assigns a random fruit to your board. So let's say if you were missing a golden strawberry and it gives you that, you've now won the game, even though it was blocked off originally.
All right, so with that, I think that's going to end the Pikmin review. So let's go into our rating system. So here at Rule of 3, we do not use a numbered board rating thing because I don't want to use a rating number thing. Instead, we use a buy and pass system. Buy means we think the game is worth full price of admission, whatever the developer wants, because the game is just that awesome, that much fun. We really enjoyed it, and the developer deserves all the money for it, and you should play it. Where rent is twofold. The game is, it's fun, it's okay. It's not the greatest thing on the planet, but it was enjoyable. Maybe rent it from GameFly or Redbox or Blockbuster or something, or wait for it to go half off on sale at Best Buy or GameStop, buy a used copy or something like that. But wait for it to go down in price. It's not quite worth what they want on release, but it's still enjoyable. And if you want, you should give it a shot if you have the spare time. Pass means that it needs to be destroyed and burned and never ever seen again. So I'll start off with this one. I give Pikmin 3 a buy. This is by far, if you don't own a Wii U yet, this is probably one of the best reasons to go buy a Wii U. This game is freaking amazing. I love it. This is, like I said, I've been waiting for this game to come out for a while, and I was not disappointed. I thought this game really refined and solidified all the Pikmin stuff, gameplay mechanics, and really solidified it and made it probably the perfect Pikmin game. I don't see how much better this game could have been if they changed anything. Birdman.
Yeah, I'd definitely give it a buy. This is by far my favorite in the series. They've got a good balance of both the good and the bad. So it was definitely a refreshing change from the last game. So I'd buy.
And Lizzie.
I also would definitely give this game a buy. I also think it's the best out of the 3 so far. The new mechanics were awesome. The story's not super long, but it's good. And I didn't want to put down the controller when I first started playing it. I think it's worth the money and the purchase of a Wii U.
Yep. All right, so there you have it. You have 3 buys from us. So obviously this is the first Wii U game that I think people will actually like, unlike the other ones I've reviewed, which have been just okay. This is by far the greatest Wii U game to come out and kind of shows what the system's capable of. So that's it for this week. Next week we will be doing, I believe, Splinter Cell, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Splinter Cell Blacklist is next week. I do have a couple of side reviews that will be coming out, hoping by the end of the week to fill in before next Friday. So thanks for listening, everybody. Make sure to leave comments below to get entries into our Grand Theft Auto 5 giveaway we're doing this month, as well as liking us on Facebook, following us on Twitter, subscribe up top to make sure you get all our video updates and stuff. Check out rule3.com for the written portions of reviews if we ever get them up, since we've been kind of slacking in that area a little bit more than I would like, and it's mostly my fault. And yeah, so once again, thanks for listening. Thank you guys for filling in for Sinister and Impressions.
Not a problem.
No biggie.
All right, and we'll see you guys next week. And always remember to trust in the rule of 3.